Today we're going to dive into one of the weirdest, most common mysteries of the human mind, déjà vu. That bizarre, fleeting feeling that you are literally reliving a moment for the very first time. So, is it some kind of glitch in the matrix, a peek into a past life, or is it something way more fascinating happening right inside your own head? Let's figure it out.
I mean, it's an almost universal feeling, right? You walk into a room you've never seen, or you're talking to a total stranger, and bam, this insane wave of familiarity just washes over you. You just know you've experienced this exact moment before, but at the same time, you know you couldn't have. And hey, if you felt it, you are in really, really good company. This is not some rare, strange quirk. Nope. Research shows that up to 97% of us have experienced déjà vu. It's basically a feature of being human that, honestly, we're just now starting to get a handle on. So what is this feeling really? Because it's more than just thinking something looks familiar. It's this whole complex mix of sensations that makes it feel so deep and, let's be real, kind of spooky. The best way to think about it is like a cognitive cocktail. The main ingredient, of course, is that powerful, undeniable feeling of familiarity. But then, it's mixed with this splash of unreality, almost like you're detached, watching your own life in a movie. Time gets all weird and bendy, and for just a split second, you have this total rock-solid certainty that what's happening right now is a memory. And what's really wild is that déjà vu isn't flying solo. It's actually part of a whole family of these déjà experiences. You could have déjà entendu, the feeling you've already heard something, or its super weird opposite, jamais vu. That's when a familiar face or word suddenly looks completely strange and alien. All of these are just little clues that our brain's reality-checking software can have some pretty interesting quirks. Okay, so let's get into our first major theory. What if déjà vu has nothing to do with the past and everything to do with the present? I want you to imagine your brain is like a camera, and just for a fraction of a second, it accidentally takes a double exposure of right now. This is the guts of the split perception theory. It basically says there's a tiny, tiny hiccup in your brain's processing. See, information from your senses is zipping along multiple pathways to get processed. If one of those pathways has a teensy little delay, your brain gets the same now moment twice, just milliseconds apart. The first signal feels like, well, right now. But that second one, your brain goes, whoa, I've already seen this, and it tags it as a memory. So let's break that down. Okay, so first, your eyes and ears grab a single new moment. But then, oops, a tiny little traffic jam happens on one of the neural highways in your head. That means signal A gets there right on time, but signal B arrives just a blink later. By the time that second signal shows up, your brain's already logged the first one. So it does the only thing that makes sense. It labels that late arrival as a memory, telling you, hey, we've been here before. And you know what? This theory actually explains why it happens more at certain times. Things like stress, being super tired, or feeling anxious can basically clog up those neural highways, making these little processing hiccups way more likely. It's why college students cramming for finals often report more déjà vu. Their brains are just plain exhausted. Okay, but what if it's not a timing error at all? There's another major theory that says the glitch isn't in perception, it's in recognition, a memory mismatch. So before we jump in, let's put these two ideas side by side. The split perception theory, that's a glitch in timing. The present feels like the past because you experience it twice. The memory mismatch theory, on the other hand, is a glitch in recognition. Some forgotten detail from your past is influencing your present, even if you have no idea what it is. And the scientist really leading the charge on this idea is Dr. Anne Cleary. Her whole hypothesis is simple, but it's incredibly powerful. She says déjà vu hits when a new place shares a hidden similarity with a memory you can't quite grab. Maybe the layout of that new cafe is exactly the same as a set from some movie you watched years ago. You don't remember the movie, but your brain recognizes the spatial pattern, and that triggers this powerful but totally baseless feeling of, I've been here before. So that leads to the big question, right? How in the world do you study a feeling that's random, lasts a few seconds, and is totally in someone's head? It's not like you can just ask someone to have déjà vu for you. Well, this is where science gets super, super creative. The answer? Virtual reality. Dr. Cleary's team put together this brilliant experiment. They built pairs of virtual reality scenes that looked completely different. One's a sunny courtyard, the other is, say, a cozy bedroom. Different objects, different colors, different lighting, the whole shebang.
But, and here's the trick, they shared the exact same spatial layout. The door in the bedroom is exactly where an archway was in the courtyard. The bed is where the fountain was. And the result? When people explored that second scene, many of them reported that classic creepy feeling of déjà vu, even though they had no idea why. And the numbers from these experiments? They speak for themselves. When the VR worlds had totally different layouts, that feeling of déjà vu was pretty rare. But when the layouts were secretly identical, the reports of déjà vu just shot through the roof. This was the first real, hard evidence that our brains can spot a familiar pattern even when our conscious mind is completely in the dark.
And when they scanned people's brains during this, they could see what was happening. A part of the brain that's an expert in spatial layouts, the parahippocampal gyrus, was firing like crazy. But, and this is the key, the hippocampus, our main memory center, was also firing, trying to find a specific memory to match that feeling. And it was coming up totally empty. This conflict, this battle between a feeling of familiarity and the lack of an actual memory, that might just be the very heart of what déjà vu is.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? Does this mean our brains are broken when this happens? Well, the science is actually pointing in a much cooler direction. Déjà vu isn't a bug in your system, it might actually be a feature.
That's right. That strange, uncanny feeling is probably a sign of a healthy, high-functioning mind. It's your brain's internal fact-checker doing its job. It detects this feeling of familiarity, and then it immediately runs a check, trying to find the memory that matches it. When it can't find one, it flags a conflict. That weird feeling you get? That's your brain saying, hey, wait a minute. This feels familiar, but it's not a real memory. Don't trust it. It's actually a sign of a really sophisticated system working just the way it's supposed to. So let's just walk through that whole process one more time with this new insight. Step 1. Your brain's amazing pattern recognition system spots a familiar layout. Step 2. Your memory systems jump into action searching for a specific memory file that matches. Step 3. It finds nothing. Step 4, your brain signals this conflict, this familiarity mismatch. And step 5, you feel that brief, strange, and ultimately totally harmless sensation we call déjà vu.
So the next time you experience déjà vu, don't just brush it off as a weird glitch. Take a second and appreciate it for what it really is, a fascinating, behind-the-scenes look at the incredible, complex machinery of your own mind just doing a system check. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other incredible secrets is your mind hiding, working on right now just below the surface?